Hey, my name's Jason Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We've got some house price data from the Nationwide. Now, this is interesting because we've only got one more set of house price data till we know exactly what house prices did in 2025. In this video, it's a bit of a surprise to a lot of people what's actually happened with house prices this month, bearing in mind we had so much uncertainty with the budget. So in this video, we're going to give you a deep dive on what's happening with house prices according to the Nationwide data, and what we might expect from other lenders as we get that data in the next few days. Now, before we jump into this, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're a smidge away. Have a look around here from 52,000 subscribers. And by subscribing, you'll get all the latest property news, house price news, interest rate news, and much, much more. Let's get some views on this video as well. Your part in that is simple. All you need to do is smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that really does help the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So I mentioned it in today's video, but just in case you've been wondering where I have been, I've been a little ill. My little girl, Amelie, she's in her first term of school and constantly ill. Hopefully, we had this when she started nursery as well for the first term or so. Constantly ill till she builds up immunity to all the bugs in there. And we've got some of that. So myself and Katie have had that. And yesterday, I had quite a bad gas leak at a property. Well, it wasn't bad. It was actually tiny, a tiny little gas leak. The bad part was that it was so tiny that it took the company hours to find it and ended up costing me £1,000. Go and check this morning's video if you want to know the lessons that I learned from that, because you might find some useful ones in there. But let's talk house prices, because that's what we want to talk about. Now, we give you various different house price data sets on this channel. So what we're talking about here is that we give you data from the Nationwide, which we've got here today. And Nationwide are looking at just their own data sources. And that would be the Mortgage Works, because that's one of their brands. That's the buy-to-let brand. It would be Virgin Money, which is one of their brands. And it would be Nationwide Building Society as well. So this is their data on what they've done deals on. So they give us data every month. We also get data as well from Halifax. And Halifax's data will be out probably next week. And we also get you data from the ONS, the Office of National Statistics. Now, that data is the ultimate data, the ONS data, because the ONS data is everything included. So it's cash sales, it's the Nationwide sales, it's the Halifax sales, but that has a massive lag. We also talk about the Rightmove asking price data. That's dropped a lot. And so some people will say, well, you were talking about asking prices dropping the other day, and that's true. I did. But the asking prices dropping won't change into sold prices for months. So just because you might see something positive now doesn't mean you've not got something negative coming a little bit further down the line. So the asking prices dropping will correlate into sales data probably around March. So Nationwide is saying that the November data is positive, which has taken a lot of people by surprise. House prices in November are 0.3% up, which is interesting because the budget was being talked about for months, like months and months and months. I've never recalled, maybe you can, I can't recall a budget that we were so worried about it going into. You had the mansion tax looming over your head. You had the property tax. You had the national insurance on landlords. Now, there was taxes that weren't great in there. There are 2% surcharges on landlords. Those are in there. They're true. There was the mansion tax, but the rates of it were a lot lower than we were expected. So going forward, that might get some people into the market now. Now we've got that certainty on what's happened. I wouldn't be surprised if we're doing some videos in January where we talk about more buyer inquiries and the market heating up a little bit. So we've got a 0.3% up. That equates on average to £772 up for the month, which is good. And the average house price in the UK now stands on the Nationwide data at 200 and 72,998, which isn't too bad. Halifax data is normally there or thereabouts. The ONS data, the Office of National Statistics data, which you'll see later in the month, that will be around the summer data now, probably around August data. And that will be lower because that includes cash sales, auction sales, all of that kind of stuff. So this is just mortgaged properties here. Now, what about on an annual basis? Where are we at now? So on an annual basis, house prices are up 1.8%. That's down though. That is down though if you take into account that inflation is running at around 4% for the year, 3.5%, 4%. So that means that house prices in real terms have become more affordable. And that's what you might start seeing now. You might start seeing that people decide that they can afford houses because a lot of people are going to get pay rises in April. That's when a lot of people get pay rises. Interest rates are likely to drop. And if those people have still got their jobs and they haven't had an unemployment shock, then they might be in the market to buy a property. So we could see a fairly robust market. I don't think you're going to see a boom in the next 2 years by any means. But I do think you could see a little bit more growth, more transactions, pent-up demand finally going into the market. Now we know the budget and things will be improving for some people. Affordability will be. So the fact that we are 1.8% up, this is the November data. We've got the December data coming this time in January. So we will predictably be, I think, around 1.5% up for the year. That's where I think it's going to be, there or thereabouts. And I think most of the data sets will see something fairly similar to that, which means that that was a busier first quarter and it started to slow down. So the market is slowing down on an annual basis. What do you think about this data? Let me know in the comments below. And do check out, this is the last week now, Cyber Week. We have a special deal for you. So we've launched the Property Accelerator. Hundreds of you have enrolled in that, so thank you to everybody. There was a slight problem with getting login emails out to people over the weekend. That's fixed. So if you do have any problems, just let the team know. That was all resolved. But we've added more to this. So buy-to-let, I don't think is going to work for some time until the market starts growing again at a rapid pace. So if the market's going up at 5%, you can do that. But I don't think that's going to happen for a little while. So in the meantime, you need to look at other property strategies. And what we've done with the Property Accelerator is put different strategies that you might need. For example, rent to rent if you don't have big deposits, service accommodation if you want high cash flow, leaseholds if you want to get properties and control the property and buy it at a later date. We talk about the buy, refurbish, refinance, rent strategy and much, much more. But for Cyber Week, what we've added, and if you've already bought, you're getting this as well included, we're going to add the Auction Accelerator. We're going to teach you how we bought from auctions and how you can too, how to set yourself up, just get you a little bit more comfortable in that auction process. And that's included in the Cyber Week deal. So check it out in the description. Check it out in the first comment. Do also check out all the other videos on this channel. We've got 2,000 now, including this one right here.